Yeah. Okay. So I'm the Funk.
The funk,
uh,
the funk.
yeah, I'm a Funk. I've been a wrestling fan forever since I have memory or consciousness. I remember the first image I have about wrestling is the Undertaker with his purple glows. That
Hell yeah,
that got me. That got me. I like can't stop watching this. So I'm an engineer and aerospace and defense industry. I'm a father of two, married, happily married, and I'm from Atlanta.
man, my man, the funk.
The funk.
I guess I'll go. Um, I'm just simply Aaron, or you can call me the skunk. They kicked me out of the group, but I'm still the. Uh, I'm originally from Virginia. Was born in Alaska. I've been in Atlanta most of my life though, so I guess I'm a Georgia boy. So my first images of wrestling I can remember were the Sunday night WCWs, like the 1 hour shows on
Yep.
TNT, I think it was at the time, or TBS, it might have been one of the TNT, the
Yep.
1 hour shows. I remember the first wrestler I remember ever seeing, and it was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's the first wrestler I can remember.
Ho!
Oh, oh, that's the first wrestler I ever like took a liking to. That I was like, yeah, that's my guy right there. Was Sting, colorful Sting,
Colorful Sting. Surfer Sting.
Surfer Sting for sure. Definitely Surfer Sting. And then after that, it just grew. And then peak time attitude era. Everybody, I was a fan of everybody. D'Lo Brown. I like the brothers the most because I could identify with that. And then you got like my favorite wrestler all time is Eddie.
Eddie
Eddie's,
Guerrero.
and not just because he died. I mean, look at the fucking dude. A lot of people say that after people, posthumous or
Right.
however the word is pronounced. They'll say that, but no, that dude was fucking fire. It get no better than that.
He was the best. He was really the best.
Top five for sure in my book.
All right, how about you, Wes?
I'll go next. So it's Wesley S.R., aka the Caramel Kid, aka Weeble. Uh, so I've been a
Long
wrestling fan.
pants. Long
What?
pants, Wes.
Hey man, you know, it's a pimp tap. But I've been a wrestling fan all my life, pretty much. My first memory, I just remember as a child. Can you imagine a 4 or 5 year old seeing Ric Flair in 1984, 85, and just being like, "Who is this crazy lunatic?" And why am
Mhm.
I so intrigued? And I just never could like escape it. So it's just been something my whole life. I've been a fan. But we pride ourselves on being respectful fans who have jobs and girlfriends and kids and all that stuff. So, still always did all that stuff. But I just love wrestling. It's just something that I had a passion for. So, but yeah, that was my earliest memory. Ric Flair, like 85-ish, 84-ish. So,
And Rick is my number one.
yeah,
Mount
he's,
Rushmore,
Yeah,
number
he's
one.
in my top five for sure. But
yeah.
Nature boy.
he has to be. So like who like since we're doing like an introductory episode here with the few of us, and we'll get the other guys out the way if they come in or if in the other episodes if they don't make this one.
Yep.
So like now as a kid, of course we had like our wrestling heroes, like that's my guy. And it was probably similar to most of the other kids sometimes. And then you as an adult, you know, I would say a real adult, like 25, 26 to like now, those change. Yeah, so who right now is your favorite? Not say they're the best or the top guy, but who's your favorite wrestler to see right now?
My favorite is Drew McIntyre for sure. Drew has gotten so much better.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he came back in NXT like a beast. You know that his wrestling style was so aggressive, and I love Drew McIntyre, and lately with his CM Punk rivalry, he just took it to a whole another level. So I really enjoy watching Drew. How about you, Wes?
So I have to agree. It's probably a tie between Drew McIntyre and Gunther. So Drew McIntyre was a case of um obviously we saw him in WWE prior, and you could see the talent. And I just remember one day that was really distinct. I saw him, and it just you looked at him, you're like, there's something about this guy. And I just thought that he had like more potential that he was showing. And then, he obviously got fired and went off and did other stuff. And but you saw him really getting better in the indies. So when he came back, I knew he was bigger and stronger, and he had charisma, and he just worked out his promos, and he's just that guy's on top of the world. But like him, and then Gunther, just for the first time I saw him in the indies, I was like, this guy, man, like just has everything. And we're seeing it now. So those are the two guys that kind of stand out to me. What
Yeah.
about you, Aaron?
Right now, before everything happened, y'all know full well since I've been in the chat, I've been a Bray, the number one Bray guy in the chat. That was my guy from day one, from Husky. I was same thing y'all saw in Drew. I was like, it's something with this guy, man. Like this Husky shit ain't it. But when he came with that, with the Eater of Worlds, from that point on, for me, everything was tight, super tight. Now it's a couple I enjoy seeing the most. I really love Jacob. Like I love Jacob. Like that dude is since Indies got me hooked on him. He the move set is it's like a video game. This guy, he's good. He's probably right now. He's probably the most skilled. Him and Braun are probably the most athletically skilled big guys. Bigger guys, over 200 plus pounds, 230-pound dudes that can move like that. That is nuts. They move like strong do, bro. That's like it's crazy. But I like Jacob right now, and I also like watching. I like Gunther. He's must see TV. Gunther's must. He hits on everything you want a wrestler to be. Gunther is it. Like he has the size. I mean, dude lost like 60 pounds, dude. Like he lost so much weight because I know they said something like, dude, you're too good to look like that. Like it didn't look good, just to be honest. Now he looks like a technical bruising motherfucker. You don't.
I literally saw that man at an indie show in Detroit, and he was standing behind me, and he was talking to somebody, and I just saw a shadow, and I'm like, what in the world?
He's huge. He's always been
literally 2 feet from me, and I'm like, this guy is huge.
It was like you got to get rid of the gut, man, because you're a top guy. You have to look like a top guy. Get in the gym, do some more, so we can put these tailor-made suits on you and a belt. And you can go out there and talk your shit because people will believe it. All of them do it. I mean, look at
absolutely.
All of them do it. Like even Big Show, when he got there, he got bigger, but it was like gradual. Like now he's old.
Yeah,
he's old. Whatever happens, happens. But all those guys, once they came there and they saw that the physique played a huge role. Look at Drew. I didn't believe Drew was ever a top guy the first run. I never believed that shit, not one time. Because he didn't believe it. And you could see he didn't believe it. And he probably took it for granted. It didn't look like he was in the gym like he was supposed to be. It didn't look like he was
built, but he was skinny. He was too skinny.
Yeah, he was smaller. Yeah. He looked like a sidekick then. But they were just pushing us. The same thing they're doing with Austin, the fake Atlanta dude. They were like forcing them on us. He was forcing
I don't
us
know if
forward.
that's fair though, man.
But you know who believed in him from day one?
Who? Wes.
Vince.
Oh.
Vince, the chosen one.
He saw something too. I saw something, but I didn't see. If you don't believe it, we'll see it. We'll know.
So I don't think that's necessarily fair, Aaron. And I'll tell you why. I think the kid checks a lot of boxes. He's great in ring. He looks the part. His promos are good. But you're right. They shoved the kid down our throats, and you didn't really know about him. You didn't know anything about him. I mean, I knew about him. I watched him in the Indies, and I met him a couple times, and he seemed like he's an arrogant kid. He is from the outskirts of Atlanta, but he's an arrogant kid. And
in real life,
no, he's arrogant. He's arrogant and pompous, and but if you're 19 years old and you look like him and you were athletic and told you how great you are, you'd be too,
Triple H is drawing that shit back now. He go on and sit back.
He's getting humbled.
10 rows back.
He's getting humbled, but I think that he does have something, and they're teasing the breakup of those two. So once they break those two up, I think we'll see the best of him. And
we need a break. A break would be best for him. A break and repackage. Break and repackage. The arrogant, cool thing, that's cool. But we've seen that. Sean does that the best. If you can't do it there, then you can't do it at all. In my opinion.
He'll probably get repackaged as a baby face, and I think that'll help him.
It would be hard, I think it would be hard for him to become a baby face after we've seen how dumb he can be. I mean, the fans, other than his physique,
that's it.
It's hard. It's gonna be hard for him to be a baby face, I believe.
Super hard when we have baby faces Cody is the ultimate baby face now. I mean, that dude, people don't like it. People hate it. But when the kids like it, it don't matter what we like. And we're going to keep paying for it.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep paying him. They're going to keep, he's forever. He's forever at this point. They'll never fire him. Unless he does something crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of, we have P. Cuttah joining us. P. Cuttah. What do you want to talk about?
Hater of Cody. The newest hater of
Cody. His first words in the podcast. Fuck Cody. Hey, P. Cuttah, we did some introductions here a minute ago. Do you want to say a little bit about yourself?
All right. So I'm Phil, a.k.a. P. Cuttah, member of the Wolf Pack from the ATL. Been here for about 20 years now, 24 years now. And been watching wrestling, been a wrestling fan enthusiast since the age of 6. So for the past 34 years, solid, strong. Watched Monday Night Raw from the first episode, been watching it the whole time. Watched the first episode ever of SmackDown. Thursday night SmackDown.
Thursday night.
When Shawn Michaels kicked the shit out of
UPN
championship. And travel around with this crew right here, travel around the world of pay-per-views and every PLE under the sun and talking shit and talking about this chat and running matches and having a Hall of Fame and the Mount Rushmore and who's who, and have definitely changed my perspective since joining the chat on, my Mount Rushmore. And it's always nice to get an interesting perspective on, different opinions about everything. It was definitely changed my perspective on a lot of other wrestling brands. Definitely more of an appreciation for AEW, even though sometimes I don't like the product. New Japan, ProWrestling, and many others. I love NXT UK. Bring it back. Or NXT.
Great. The wrestling was top notch, Phil. I agree.
Yes.
I hated NXT UK. I hated the roster. I would have fired 75% of those motherfuckers.
See, Javi, here's the thing.
Element though.
you did like the promos and everything else, but you can't deny those guys in ring were all
Wrestle.
top notch. They just were.
Even the girls
well,
can wrestle too.
yeah, but if you think about it, they had what they had the Webster, was it the Mudman or whatever? They had this. They had a whole lot of losers in there. The Rampage Jackson was his name. No,
NXT though. Like that's the wonderful part about it. In NXT now, we got some damn losers in there. Even the guy that you drag under the mud every 5 minutes, freaking Baron Corbin just came back from NXT. It's NXT. You have to appreciate NXT for developmental and what it is. Look at Gunther.
Yeah, but Gunther was exception. Imperium was exception. Tyler
Right.
Bate. They Pete Dunne. Obviously, they had some exceptions,
It
but
reminds me of the initial NXT when it first rolled out, because not everybody was platinum star quality, shining stars when they first came out of there. You got to appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah,
Not everybody
they try to force that shit on us too. Every time they call somebody up, you don't have to call somebody up every fucking year.
Dude, NXT, dude,
Like
Roman.
they're gonna call up
Roman and NXT.
Yeah, and they're gonna call up oh shit. I always forget these guys' names.
Trick Williams.
Yeah, they're gonna call up Trick, and he's gonna just fall in the crowd. There'll be another face.
I don't know about that either.
He'll have to have somebody with him or be with somebody because he don't.
I would keep him down there for another year.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got to get the mic skills together, buddy. It sounds like you thinking. It sounds like you thinking, bro. It sounds like you thinking every word you speak.
Nothing either.
It's every word he speaks. It sounds like he thought it just right before he spoke it.
But Phil, once again, Mello has the mix of the mic skills, the look, and the in-ring, and that's why he came up first.
But he's not going to make it past mid-card.
Nah, he will.
I think he will.
He will.
I like Mello.
I give him 5 or 6 years. 5 or 6 years, and the 2 title thing works in guys like his favor. Because it'll be realistic if he wins, because it's gonna be sneaky. It's gonna be low down. And then the Universal title on him makes no sense, but the World title does. He'll get the U.S. Championship by this time next year. He'll have the U.S. Championship.
What do you think is making it? Is making it getting like a Intercontinental Championship?
Fucking T-shirt sales is making it.
Yeah,
that's how you know you made it. That's like the number one indicator that you know. Like, I don't need it. LA Knight, he just got a title.
Yeah,
T-shirt
to me, having a prominent role where you are delivering entertainment to most of the fans every week, that is making it. Dominic already made it.
Yep, he don't need a belt. He's
a made man. Yeah,
put a rocket on him.
He'll never have to be a good guy, but a babyface ever again. He never can unless he does. He'll have to do something crazy. Yeah. They have to save Ray from Judgment Day, like y'all doing too much to my dad, like y'all about to kill him, and he'll have to do that. That's the only thing that can save him. But I don't want to see him do that. I want to see him stay like this.
Speaking of merchandise sales, LA Knight with the World Series now going with LA, they shot out LA Knight, so he might get a little plug over there.
Look at that. He doesn't need a belt. He doesn't need a belt. But that's just maturity. He's doing the DDP thing. It's maturity. DDP never needed a belt.
He wants in his heart of hearts, you could tell he wants a belt.
Yeah. He's gonna get that world title. He'll win the Royal Rumble. He'll get the world title. He'll get his run. But from that point on, he'll have a job forever.
Oh yeah,
he'll be John Cena like.
Yeah, that's right.
He'll have a job forever until he's DDP. He's this generation's DDP. He's damn near 40. He got a late ass start. He's an amazing.
He's over 40, man.
40.
Yeah, he's damn near 50.
Yeah.
Got a late start, and he's at the peak of his career when most people are thinking about retirement at this point. You know what I mean? DDP in the same position. Was in the same position. He got a title when he was, 43, 44?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The motherfucker started wrestling at 35, bro. That's crazy. 35? I was 35 2 years ago. Bitch, I'm not wrestling shit. I'm not arm wrestling 2 years ago. This dude just was like, but, that's genetics in his favor. He was in amazing shape.
Yeah.
So, guys like that, LA will be forever sold. He's money. Bo, if he keeps doing what he's doing, if he changes the image a bit, he'll be locked in for a while. And that was the plan from all along. So he'll be locked in for a while. He was going to be here for a while anyway, Bray or no Bray.
So,
I don't know about that.
No, after Bray. If Bray was still here, then he would still be here. But now he's gonna be here for a while.
Yeah, speaking of Bo, for me tonight, Raw, the biggest takeaway other than the main event, what happened between Jay and the Bloodline, and that face-off between Jacob Fatu and Bron Breakker, that was freaking amazing.
That shit got me excited like a kid, bro.
That was electricity and fire in there. But other than that, to me, the segment of the Wyatt Sicks coming back and having, retaking a spot on TV and on the story there and having something to do, hopefully Survivor Series, to me, that was the second best thing of the show. How about you guys? What do you think?
I agree. I think it was a really important part of the show. I think see that the Testament Their Year group, Javi. I think that win or lose, this is going to help them. I think you can make them look stronger by facing this group. They're obviously going to lose, but it's going to make them look better, and it's definitely going to make your boy look better when he goes one-on-one with Bo.
I'm behind the Final Testament, but I don't see how this is gonna make them look better. I'm glad that they're finally doing something, but there's a very thin line between them and the Dark Order on AEW right now.
Well, I agree with that, but what I'm saying is that if you can make it competitive,
yeah, you got to have a few matches.
Group that has if you make it competitive, you got to have some of them win every once in a while.
Yeah, have Razor beat Rowan maybe in a quick little one.
Yeah, make it competitive. And
when is the last time that AOP has won a match or Karrion Kross? I don't remember.
It's been a couple months.
Yeah, I don't
They're
remember.
High level. They're bruising jobbers. They're like shit. I don't even know who they're like because I've never really noticed that.
They're like if Demolition with lost matches.
Like they should be. They need to lose something, man.
So I'm interested in seeing how they take this story because I think Karrion Kross can tell a good story in TV with the Wyatt Sicks if they do it well. For both teams, right? Because this is gonna make or break. Yeah, they're gonna make it or break both teams, right?
So nostalgia's over for the
Bray Wyatt. Yeah. So they have to do a good show now, a good angle for Survivor Series, I imagine. And after that, it will be interesting to see where each group goes, right? What will they do next? But
we know that Karrion Kross and his group are going. It's just a matter of time. But let them get a couple of dubs in the meantime.
Well, you know what's going to happen. Karrion's going to address the losing. Then them AOP is going to beat the shit out of them. Then then AOP is going to go on their own, maybe win the title, lose the title. Then they're going to get released. Karrion's going to go on to win the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title. He's going to get his act together because he honestly, at this point, he is getting better. He is getting better on the mic. I will say that. It's getting, I'm understanding what's going on now. At first, I was like, oh, hell. This just sounds like You know them TV shows that used to come on late, and you just like, it's time to go to bed now. You like, what is this?
Aaron, so this is my thing on him. They fumbled one of the best
Oh,
introductions to a guy ever. The
he
fall
would have
in
went straight
parade,
to main roster.
and it was just you put him straight to the main roster. I mean, but I'm tired of like seeing all these guys from other promotions come in and you're like waiting for them to do what they were doing before or whatever. This is like the big
But
leagues.
now,
And he just did not have it, I guess, in ring. He just didn't have it. I mean, I've seen great matches from him in other promotions.
yeah,
He
like, yeah.
Well,
he couldn't pull it off here. But the
d-
promo, the look, he had his wife with him. He like looks like $1 million. He looks like something.
yeah,
Yeah.
and in NXT, yeah, he was champion in NXT, remember? So, and I think he did fantastic in NXT. I remember
He did good.
thinking,
He did decent.
yeah, he had the shaved head and the big entrance with the bird coming to the to
Yeah,
forward.
he looked like
Excited to
something.
see him. I was excited to see him from his
Yeah,
indie work, and
yeah,
his
that,
moveset was crazy in the indies. His moveset was nuts.
and I think NXT he was doing great. He had great matches as well, and I was looking forward to see him go against Drew McIntyre, which was the main guy on the main roster when he was the world champion. He was a baby face.
I got a question for you guys. So, what is going to be the next phase of the Bloodline story? So we know we have Survivor Series coming up soon.
Right.
So is it going to be 4 members each? Is it going to be 5 members each? Is it going to be another one of the Uso brothers or family members? Is it going to be somebody from the outside? What do you guys' take?
I think that, my opinion, the safest way to go about this, where you know that you have, talent that know how to work and know how to do the story, is with, the new Bloodline Solo, the Tongas, and Jacob Fatu on one side, and then Roman, the Usos, and Sami Zayn on the other one, because that's the original Bloodline.
Yo,
Yeah, that's what brought us
The real
here, right?
bloodline.
For years.
yo, I just got
That's it.
goosebumps when you said that.
Yeah, I
That
mean
is
that's
storyline. We loved each other, then we turned on each other. This is Days of Our Lives type, Telemundo
Yeah.
type.
doll,
Take
my
my
dolls.
money. Give me some t-shirts too, because you know them t-shirts is coming, all the
Oh
merch.
yeah,
Sure.
oh
Okay.
yeah.
I got an outside option. What about Brock? And the
Right.
reason why I say what about Brock is that they attacked Paul Heyman. That's his guy.
It,
I
it
can't
could be
stand this son of a bitch.
it
I'm
could be
gonna say his name.
yeah. It could be Roman, CM Punk, and Brock based on what you just said. Because remember, Punk is also a Heyman guy.
I'm just saying like that would be something crazy that would be out of the typical realm of like Brock and Brock and Roman on the same squad.
Then you're gonna have to add Cody too, and I think it could be 5. Take out Sammy, and I think it could be Cody.
That,
This
you
Cody
gotta have
and
Sammy. You
Brock.
have to have Sammy. It
Sammy
only
is
makes
the right
sense.
choice.
It only
Yeah.
makes sense.
What
And then
about
have
Zillow for 2?
But he's not even there yet. And Survivor Series is coming up fast. I think that's too fast too. And Hikuleo, they also have him allegedly, the
Yeah.
tall one, Tala.
I think they probably ran out of time to bring in those guys because they're not even like WWE ready yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
you would
probably
have
going to
Sammy.
it's going to be Sammy, but I think Brock would be interesting.
That will be interesting. And it's funny because I played the WWE 2K24 game, and they have that story in there that, not the Bloodline versus Bloodline, but that Roman Reigns brings Brock Lesnar on his side to fight the other guy. So it's not that they haven't thought about it.
I don't think I could handle that.
That would be a lot.
I'm
There'd be
serious.
a lot going on.
Let's take my money. I'm
Take my money.
serious.
I mean, it could be 5 versus 5, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the original Bloodline plus Brock Lesnar versus the new Bloodline and two other guys. I don't know who, but
The Rock.
The
The
Rock,
Rock.
yeah.
Oh snap!
I
Jeez.
forgot about The Rock. I
The
forgot The
final
Rock did
boss.
show up a couple
Jeez.
Oh my
bad
god!
blood.
Got goosebumps when I said it. Just, I
Oh,
mean,
Had
it
The Rock
just,
had The
dang.
Rock with
yo,
the current
We're
the fake
daydreaming here.
bloodline
We're daydreaming.
with the
yo,
solo. But Rock has
yo.
to play a role because what did he come out for?
To
Heyman.
just be Rock, bruh. That jump was so
That's,
beast.
that's why I'm floating. That's why I keep on floating out Brock. If you're gonna bring the Rock in too as the fifth guy, then all of a sudden you have to have five guys on the other side. We know who the three are gonna be.
God, I
Jay's gonna
wish
come around.
Triple H heart worked.
What?
Jay's coming around
I
now
wish
because he just
Triple
lost.
H's heart was good because it could be him instead of Brock because it would be like that would be dope as fuck. That would be
Yeah.
Rock, Triple H, both bloodlines. What? That would
That
be
would be
crazy.
amazing.
But you would have to plug in Brock, and then you could bring up some old shit. Brock be like, "Listen, I wiped you out when I was 21 years old, bro. You ain't came back since to talk to me. So don't even you can't fuck with me. You did it once. You tried once. You failed miserably. I washed you." He beat the shit out of Rock in that match.
The only issue with this kind of match though is the Rock gonna really step in like because it's gonna be in like War Games or Hell in the Cell kind of cage. Would he do that kind of match?
I mean, I would have explained to him like, "Listen, bro, these matches are pretty intense, dog. And if your cousin can get out there and he had a not terminally ill, but if he's fucking sick and he does this shit at a high level, your ass is gonna get out there. And I don't care what you own, your ass gonna get out there too, or I'll scrap you out of the fucking storyline, and we can deal with it in court.
I
You're
guess
gonna
if
do
he
what's
came in
best for
late,
the story.
maybe if he came in late in the match, maybe you could get away with it.
Hell no, because if you come in late, Brock got to come in late.
Exactly. The two old guys came in late.
Because
But I mean,
to be
they can
honest,
protect
Brock
him.
has made us more money than you have up until now. You make more money at a time. Brock has made more overall.
I don't know about that.
Shit.
Brock made more money than The Rock?
Overall?
No,
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 man.
Absolutely
no.
No.
not.
Listen, man.
Hell
Y'all
no.
not
Other
taking
than
into
your sales
account.
No.
alone,
Listen,
Bruh,
y'all not taking into
SmackDown was
account.
put in the damn dictionary.
Yeah.
Do you watch that one time a week? That's the only time you could watch SmackDown. You can go back and watch SmackDown on YouTube now. And if you don't think that they are getting a check for them fucking views, you're crazy. Views
Bruh.
on YouTube, TikTok, fucking, they're getting
It's
checked
the
for all this. They're in like the high 100 millions every
So what are you
quarter
saying then?
it's
because
the second
because
longest
Brock
episodic television show in the
Brock
history of
became
television.
Brock
Yeah.
became what he is now because of social fucking media. Everybody knows Brock. Your mom knows Brock Lesnar now because of social. He was one of the first wrestlers to do that. Helped him, Randy. Randy was probably the number one social
But Brock's
guy.
not bigger than The Rock.
He may not be more popular than The Rock, but he's brought in more money than The Rock.
I don't
Nah,
think so.
I will say he's brought non-wrestling
Dollar amount.
fans.
I'll say dollar amount. Yes, if we're going in the black, red, all the technical shit, percentage wise, no. But The Rock didn't do that shit on his own. They brought back Brock to make more. This shit sucks right now. Brock, are you busy? No. Cool. We'll bring you back $5 million. Wrestle four times a year.
Aaron though, it's a money grab for him. He doesn't really care about how much money he generates. He just wants to give me my couple $1,000,000. I'll do these 10 dates and then I go the fuck on. Like that's what he
cares.
does.
But what is the point?
Rock made money for a decade consistently. And then he made money every time he comes back. And then he makes
And
money.
even when he was not in WWE making movies, he was making money for WWE because who's this guy Dwayne Johnson? And they would research and search and WWE. Let's see what he did there. So
People, but
The Rock is a whole different phenomenon.
Yeah.
Lesnar.
and what made him that was the movies. The Rock is who he is, a household name. He was not before he left wrestling.
I don't know about that.
Nah.
No,
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 he was not.
no,
We knew, and
I
y'all
don't
are
smell
thinking
that.
about
I
it
don't
no.
smell
because
that.
we knew a house
Look,
like a house. When I say household name, I mean across the world, the whole entire world.
But how,
granted,
Like
but,
people
but
who
how do you
don't
think
have cable, people who don't have TVs know The Rock now.
but Aaron, how do you think he got that movie Scorpion King?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying he was the most popular wrestler probably ever.
Because
And
he
if you
got
want to get
that
technical, Ric Flair, if you do percentage, Ric Flair has probably brought in the most money for wrestling. If you do percentage wise, the most money. Because then that shit became national when he became a champion. People was going to each and every promotion to watch him wrestle. They were buying pay-per-views in the 70s to watch Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes.
but the whole pay structure was different then, man.
It was different, but these dudes was making a lot of money then, and the revenue was for them was it went from probably if we were making 100,000 a year revenue that's a low number at this promotion. When Rick got into his flow, the next year, say we were making probably $1 million off this shit.
So it's different though, man. Like WCW, as much as I loved it, and I loved it, like trust me, I watched everything WCW. It was a regional thing though. It was national, but it was like
South thing. It was a Southern
Tread
thing.
lightly.
no. I'm a WCW guy, but it was a Southern promotion.
Yeah. It was
right,
beer
Reached,
drinking,
right,
It was a
it was
southern
like
promotion
right, right.
it was
Especially in those first years, those first like the 80s and like
from
early 90s and stuff, before the
from
Attitude Era and before
1982
NWO. I gotta agree, Wes.
yeah, but
from
remember
1980
that
from 1981 to 1990, it was a regional promotion.
Yeah,
yeah,
It was.
yeah.
hardcore.
and Hog Wild and shit that they
Yeah,
started. They were super like
Then they
not
go
really.
Hogan, and then
Yeah.
they got the NWO, and they beat
yo,
WWF for 83 weeks straight.
And then
So
it
it was the
became
main
something
promotion
different.
for that long, over a year.
But even then, during that period, Rick wasn't on top.
no,
No.
No.
So like he wasn't making the money. Like
Well, but
he
Rick
kind
made
Not
the
then.
of
NWA more than
cool.
WCW.
But
What?
they were able to what I'm saying is at Rick's height, if you do revenue percentage, I'm sure it's probably higher or just as high as those Attitude Era guys. And being that it was only him and Dusty as the two top guys, nobody else. These dudes would go around to 15 different promotions and wrestle the same match and sell out every single time. The same two dudes. And they would do it for years, dog. Years. They would make
it was
I
different
hate
then
to
though.
pick
There
up
was
my
no
old
social media. There was
There's no
no
social
no.
media.
social
I
media.
mean,
My grandma knows Ric Flair.
you can. This is the thing. It's a public thing. You can look online. You could see how much the Gates did back then,
For
and it's
sure.
just not the same. It's like as much as I like don't like Vince as a person, Vince took it from like, okay, we're doing $100,000 gates to what it is now. It's different. It's
Just
not
like
it's not
do you
the same.
think Michael Jordan made the NBA more money, or do you think LeBron has made the NBA more money?
LeBron has.
Percentage wise.
No, actual money, actual dollars brought in. LeBron
Oh
has,
yeah,
and
LeBron has
Michael
because
Jordan.
it's just if
It's
you
just
go
like
percentage wise, it's close, but I think LeBron edges him because of the social aspect of it.
so it's just bigger because the money's bigger. It's like I understand what somebody would say, Michael Jordan, but like the money in 1989 and 90 and 91
It's
was
nowhere
nowhere near
near.
what the revenue.
Nowhere
Way
near. I
near.
mean, but if you
Not even
go
close.
by inflation and all that, I mean, now it's a little fucked up. But back then, it was pretty decently structured. So those guys, if they did CBS deal for NBA, 500 million. All right, cool.
But
Each NBA team gets 200 million bucks for whatever the deal. It might be $1 billion. Now they're upwards of 20, 30 billion-dollar deals.
I think what, and correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, what you're trying to say is that the attention, the revenue, everything that like someone like Ric Flair generated, it just created this momentum, right? That
It
you know
just
you
compounded.
you have Hulk Hogan, you have Stone Cold, you
Yeah.
have The Rock and Cena and everyone else, that Roman Reigns now. That there's this quote that if I've seen fathers because I stand in shoulders of
Yeah,
giants, right?
sure.
So
Yeah,
so yeah, I Bruno Sammartino and WWE side and Ric Flair on the NWA side and Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes and all those
Yeah.
guys,
Bob
they may
Backlund,
have
all
not
those.
generated as much as these guys generated after in the Attitude Era, and then Cena has, I don't know how much he generated for WWE, but
Probably made
even
more
though
than
he's not my favorite, but
he made.
yeah, without those guys before them, they wouldn't have made that much.
Right.
so let me ask this question then. So you rattled off, and I like the way you said it. You pretty much went a progression of all the guys who dominated their era. And it was almost in like a 10-year increment, right? So we
Mhm.
know that Roman, for the past 10 years, Roman's been on top.
That's the guy.
Okay.
That's
Pretty
the guy.
much.
Yeah,
What?
the guy. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
And then before that,
The
it
guy.
was maybe Cena and whoever else you want to say. Before that, it was so and so. Who's the next guy?
Orton.
Who's the
Who's the
next guy?
next guy?
Who's
Uh,
who's the next guy?
Dominic Mysterio.
that's what I was just about to say. I was just about to say that.
Dominic is a menace.
Um,
Gunther.
Gunther is very soon going to be number one.
My guy is Braun Breaker. I think he's
He's on the
gonna be
list
the
too.
one.
Yeah,
He's gonna
Braun
be
is. But
Yeah.
like as soon as they turn him loose, Jacob is going to rise so fucking fast, dog. He's going to do what Umaga should have. What they should have done with Umaga. They're going to do that because they realized they dropped that ball. Umaga should have been the top guy for a dominant run for at least a year. Should have been washing everybody.
Yeah.
I think what makes it so interesting now and why the WWE is hitting on all cylinders is that there's more than one guy. Like
It's
you
hella.
could you could tell like back in the day it was just like Roman's just the guy and you knew he was. It wasn't a question. Now it's like you can go in 5 or 6 different directions. And it's like Braun Breaker, he's so young that like you could wait 6 or 7 years before he has a run. You don't have to. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna throw this in here, but I don't know. After the news of Samantha Irving leaving WWE, and I know she's not Roman Reigns, she's not one of the top guys, obviously, but she seems so genuinely happy about her role in WWE. Even in social media, there's I don't know hundreds of videos of her doing the announcing, and she was so good at it. I imagine WWE, didn't want to lose her, and she still left. Probably, Ricochet saying not AEW, but I don't believe Ricochet. I bet this. I bet she's gonna end up in AEW because this guy, right, Tony Khan, he's gonna pay 1.5x 2 times what they're making over there just to get them because he can afford it. He's not running a business.
Yeah,
I'm starting to see AEW as a real threat because if he can buy out anyone he wants to buy out,
Javi,
no,
I'm going
man,
to guarantee you this.
their toys suck.
At this rate, AEW has 2 years.
Ooh wee.
He
Think
no,
about it.
they have a
That's longer
3-year
than I
deal
thought.
with WBD, so at
Oh
least
yeah,
3
Think
yeah,
years
about
they
it.
yeah.
have.
The reason why I say 2 years is this: everything they're doing is diminishing returns. They even went back to Wembley, less people. Their shows is like less and less and less and less and less people. And then they're paying all these people. It's the WCW model. You can't pay everybody $3
You,
million and nobody goes to any of the shows. You can't, it
But
don't.
there's a big difference between WCW and AEW. Is that WCW
it,
was a business.
but ran
AEW
by a
is
businessman, an entertainment guru, an entertainment,
yeah,
probably the
yeah.
greatest entertainment guru of all
Okay, but
time.
you can't have that and then you have a bad product too. You can't it can't be so we're losing money, nobody's watching, and the product's bad. Something's gotta give.
That's
At
when you
some
call
point,
Eric
the pack
Bischoff.
hold up his tent and give it up.
Tony Khan will never call Eric Bischoff.
I
But
would have. That would have been my first call. If I'm starting a wrestling company, he's probably one of the most
me,
brilliant minds
me
in
too. Me
wrestling.
too. Me
Real
too.
talk.
This
This
is this is a pet project for Tony Khan. He wants to be seen as Vince McMahon or Paul Heyman or Eric
Never.
Bischoff,
you're
and
not.
he will never
You're
be.
none of them. You're none
I
of
would
them.
have paid the shit out of Paul Heyman. I give you $50 million to come over here and run this company with me. I'll give you $50 million cash. Because
Aaron,
with Paul
here's the
Heyman's
problem.
mind, you'll make that shit back in a year.
Aaron,
You'll
here's
make
the problem.
$100 million.
He could have called Tim, he could have called Jim Cornette, he could have called there's a host of people he could have called and said, I will let you write the show and I'll just be over it. But he wanted to do all this stuff himself.
Be like, if he really wanted to be like Ted, he would have did what Ted did. Bitch, tell me how much. I don't know. One, I don't give a damn what y'all doing. Tell me
He
how much.
he doesn't want to be like Ted. He wants to be like Vince, Heyman, Bischoff. That's what he wants. A booker. Be
But
known as
he's
a
not.
booker.
He might be a lifelong wrestling fan or whatever the fuck, but he's not like. I don't think he studied it. He's enjoys watching it. Like how we just predicted at the beginning of the Raw what was going to happen at the end. We've been watching too long to not know some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that kind of fucks it up, but it kind of makes it interesting because sometimes we're wrong.
Right.
So when we're and AEW is also messed up because they don't have anybody to cater to the kids.
No.
That's how you make money. You cater
That's
to
true.
the kids. You have at least 2 wrestlers who the kids love, and you make them top 10 talent, and you make them see every night, every weekend. Or you have a tweener who the kids are like, this dude is a badass, but he's cool, like a Stone Cold. But you can't emulate this shit. Dean Ambrose could have been that, but it's too much blood.
But but don't worry, they
I think
have Daniel
Darby Allin might
Garcia.
be that, though. He could be that for the kids. He could
Chris
be.
Jericho is a perfect example of that. Kids. Well, as a kid, I love Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho needs to go home.
Yeah,
Go home.
it's a wrap.
Your wife
He
and
should take that
kids.
tree and take it with him.
Or I would have hired him as a writer / wrestler.
No, go home. Go home, Jericho. Go home.
I would go home by now if I was
Yeah.
over. But I mean,
But
it's so many things he could have done that he still can do. But
TK, pick up the phone and call Vince McMahon to save your company. No
he could
bullshit. At
call
this
us.
point,
He could
call
call us.
and real talk, TK. If you're listening to this podcast, this entire chat will run All Elite Wrestling.
The first thing I would do is be like, we're taking a month break. We're coming back in January. Everybody go home. If we were to buy it today, don't worry about next week. Just where we're gonna be. You're still gonna get paid. Everybody go home. Give me them belts back. Ain't nobody a champion. All of them. Go home.
wow.
Scrap whatever the fuck history we got in there. Keep the title reigns, whatever. And I'll tell it on TV. This shit sucks. So we starting over.
Aaron will be like Vince Russo.
And you know how many people,
this
you know
shit
how
sucks.
viral that would go? That would be
It
a
would.
kayfabe moment, but it would be part of the story. And I would be the most hated exec by every wrestler, good and bad. And that's what you want. You want the one guy who don't give a fuck, and you want to put him on TV like they did with Vince, like they
Oh my
did with
God. They were like, oh my God, what's gonna happen
bad
next? Guys
hated him and good guys hated him. If he
Hey,
came
how do
out
you know
during
this
your
guy?
promo,
It's like that Dario Cuervo guy from
like,
Lucha.
yeah, bro. Everybody
Dario
hates him.
Cuervo.
It's
And when he
Dario
comes out,
Puerto.
everybody's getting fucked.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you
he
thought
was great.
Roll the R's, you
Yeah.
freaking perro.
Yeah,
Roll the R's.
you thought shit was sweet? Oh yeah, I made an impossible stipulation for your opponent, but bitch, I got something for your ass too. My boy's gonna jump your ass before this match. The fuck?
I guess I'm just disappointed with AEW because I saw where it was going and I thought that they had a lot of potential.
They did.
And now I watch it and I'm just like, I can't watch this stuff, man. It's horrible.
It's
It's
horrible.
just really bad.
It's not fun. It's no build to the stories. It's like storylines just start. I'm mad.
Yeah, you know, it's a and like Ricochet and what's his name are going to have a match, you know, coming up, and it's like you could have built that, you could have had that at a pay-per-view, you could have done all this stuff, but he just rushes through everything, man, and they don't understand.
Tony
If I was
Khan is
Swerve-
booking matches that he wants to watch. That's it.
If I was Swerve, I would give this shit one more year, build that social media up, so I have to be a top guy when I go
You want to
there.
know what though? For Swerve though, it's a good thing because he's
Because
the
he's
top
good.
guy.
Because he's good. He's
great.
doing this
He's
shit.
the top guy.
You can tell. You can tell.
Top guy in WWE.
He's like. You can tell in
It's
his
too many guys.
contract. You can tell in his contract. He was like, "Bitch, if I come over there, I'm writing my own shit. I'm doing my own shit." You can tell. And whoever is coming to work with me, I'm writing this shit. Because Hangman ain't come up with no burn the house down. He ain't come up with none of that. He ain't come up with none of that. That went down. That's one of the greatest rivalries of this year. That whole from beginning to end, that was great. From the first moment they started it until the 1, 2, 3, that shit was amazing. Better than any rivalry besides Bloodline on WWE.
My only bad take is it was a little bit too much foolishness in the match with the syringes and stuff.
The cinder block was crazy.
The cinder block was good.
That was crazy. That was cringe too. But you're forgetting CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Aaron.
Right.
Oh,
that rivalry was.
They can blade again. They can blade again. I could tell that match. I was like, this is too much blood to be a ball or anything. They're blading again. And I think they've been doing it for a few months.
So let me ask you guys this. This is another question. What makes you think that Raw on Netflix is going to be a success when, wait a minute, Lucha Underground was on that and it killed that company?
We didn't know what Lucha Underground was. We didn't
Lucha
know
Underground was in the Ray Network. That's where they were. And they only sold the recorded library to Netflix.
There you go.
They never moved to Netflix.
So they
were already dead when they moved to Netflix.
It was never live.
It was done.
It was done.
It didn't have this social media presence.
It just popped up on Netflix one day.
It didn't have the equity of like a TKO group.
That shit was fire, though. That shit was fire.
And the wonderful thing that Lucha Underground did was they built the fuck out of storylines, and that wrestling was off the chain.
They even have season 1, season 2. They have seasons, like real seasons.
And they have real season finales too.
Shit. And then season 2 is new shit, new rivalries, all this shit. They did. Yeah. I tell you what, them Spanish folk can write some stories, man. We see that on Telemundo. They can write some stories.
And all of that was written by Chris DeJoseph, which is he's not in WWE and he's not in AEW. I don't know.
That would have been the first call. Who?
Chris DeJoseph. He used to be. Remember that chubby guy that used to Vince would put him dancing in the ring?
Yeah.
That's a writer.
And you know who else I would have called? I would have called whoever wrote these 2 shows. Whoever choreographed and helped write the wrestlers that helped write the 2 shows, Glow and that other show that came on Stars that they canceled.
Heels.
Yes, whoever helped write those 2 shows, and I probably would have called one of those actors because that main actor, he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's good.
And he's good. He's just a better actor than a wrestler. So he's been acting. He's been on shit. He's a wrestler. And like he's just one of those guys who's indie guy, forever indie guy.
Yeah.
Him and his brother. Most of the guys in there.
That's why CM Punk's on that show though, because he respects
Punk was there.
that.
Yeah. Punk was there.
Yeah.
That's his friend. They're friends in real life. Him and I forget the dude's name, but he's an indie wrestler, old school indie wrestler. He was pretty decent, Dean Malenko type of dude.
Yeah.
You know, he was pretty good. Pretty good, but he killed in that show, and I hated they canceled that show, man.
Well, it's coming back. I think Heels is coming back on Netflix. I think.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
They showed the 2 seasons that were already on.
Right, but I think they're gonna do another season, a new one. I think
that show.
Have to confirm
that shit is a good show.
Want to thank you for first episode.
Yeah.
We'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
Did we set on a name? The wrestling bar, is it? The bar and grill? What are we gonna call it?
Sound good to me. Hell, so
we can't do the wrestling VIP.
We can do the wrestling VIP, but I think when I researched that there was another wrestling VIP already.
All right.
Okay.
I don't think they have a drunken funk and crunk anywhere.
Drunken crunk and friends. All right, guys, take care.